What is pagan about Christmas in Rome? Let's explore Roman cults and practices from Seoul to the Saturnalia. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more on-site history and exploration. December 25th is the day that Christians celebrate Christmas. It was as early as the 3rd century that the Christian historian Sextus Julius Africanus, writing a universal history of Christianity, recorded that Jesus was conceived on March 25th, which meant that after 9 months, it would result in the birth of Jesus on December 25th. But what was so special about this date? It all depended on the change of seasons, the movement of the earth, and its proximity to the sun. In the northern hemisphere, the sun is furthest from the earth on the winter solstice, December 21st. But in the Roman calendar, it was traditionally noted as being on December 25th, after which the days became noticeably longer. That's what's fundamental. This date determined by the Romans that stuck, December 25th, for the celebration of the winter solstice. The Roman cult of the sun god Sol, an old deity associated with Apollo, had a number of celebrations throughout the year, but received a prestigious temple to Sol Invictus in Rome in the Campus Martius in the 270s under the Emperor Aurelian, dedicated on the 25th of December, at that moment and not before, tying the cult to the winter solstice. And in some related form, there was the cult of Mithras, so popular in the 2nd and 3rd centuries, that became associated with Sol, the sun, noted as the unconquered sun, Sol Invictus, and its own cult and mythology that were focused on the constellations and the movement of the heavens, including the annual solstice and equinox. Besides the cult of Sol and Mithras, we must turn to the fascinating cult of Saturn, the so-called Saturnalia festival, which has so many traditions, always at the end of the year, that became absorbed into the Christian celebrations in various forms, all throughout Europe, in which private families celebrate with gift exchange, merrymaking, and even assigning a king on the festivities. Let's take a look at the cult of the Saturnalia. From the Capitoline Hill, I'm overlooking the Temple of Saturn. And this is the heart and soul of the experience of the Saturnalia. It starts with a public ceremony. It starts with this temple. The temple itself was created first in the 5th century BC. It's heavily rebuilt in the time of Augustus by Minucius Plancus, and that in turn is restored as the last revived and reconstructed temple of pagan Rome all the way into the 360s and 370s AD. It's a cult, it's a temple, it's a celebration that doesn't give way easily to Christianity. And in fact, there are a lot of aspects of the Saturnalia that are related to the celebrations of Christmas. Let's take a look. One of the curious things about the Temple of Saturn is the cult statue, made of wood, filled with oil, and year-round the legs were bound with wool, only to be removed on December 17th, the first day of the Saturnalia. Note that Saturn holds a scythe. He's a god of sowing. He's a god of harvest. This is the end of the season of the agriculture, and therefore it's all due to this god who's giving us abundance now, Saturn. That's why shops are closed, businesses are shuttered. It's a time to reflect and enjoy. Saturnalia is a festival that is on December 17th, but the days are added. And in the imperial period, we get to the period of 7 days that are celebrated from December 17th to December 23rd. Now, it starts off with a public sacrifice in front of the Temple of Saturn. It's funded by the treasury in the Temple of Saturn. And then there's a public banquet. In the public banquet, everyone is allowed to participate. But the rest of the celebrations take place at home. It's a time of merrymaking. It's a time of drinking. It's a time of games. Gambling is allowed even in public. It's a time for every stratum of Roman society to participate and have that time off. And there's a big period of gift exchange throughout, in particular, the sigillaria. So you have these wax figurines and terracotta figurines that are given as gifts. Sure, many of the gifts can become quite expensive for the wealthy, but most people, it's a bag of nuts. It's a little figurine, it's a candle. And this is always taking place at the end of December and everyone goes around in the streets and at homes saying, Yo, Saturnalia.
Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of the great millstone that rule well. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect, beginning with the 144,000 men. Alright, this is Brother Yerushalayim coming at you with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kodash. This is a quick video. Saturnalia. Christmas is Saturnalia. And it's pagan. Alright, it's a quick video through the spirit. Alright, you saw this video that we just watched, and they're showing you basically the history of Saturnalia, you know, and it's Christmas when basically the Roman Empire basically so-called picked up Christianity, you know, and they incorporated the paganism into the truth. Alright, and you know they made it more palatable, or more easily adoptable to the Roman citizens. Alright, where they will go about the streets in mirth, you know, playing games, doing all kind of, you know, close up the shops. Everything you see there, you know, you see it back here, that just shows you that what is Rome. This is Rome all over again. Starting with Babylon, Great America, it's Rome all over again. Alright, there's no doubt about that. Alright, it's Rome all over again, and this is not the worship of Yahweh Shai and Mashiach. Yahweh Shai wasn't born in dead of winter. Right, Yahweh Shai was born around the time of the Passover. Alright, when you examine the scripture, you'll see Yahweh Shai went to the temple when he was 12 years old, around the time of the Passover. Alright, so he became 12 years old, which became what? A man in Israel, because he became a man or a woman at 12 years old. Alright, let's read that. Luke 2:41. Now his parents went to Jerusalem every year at the feast of the Passover, right, which was according to the law. This is a visit Jerusalem 3 times a year. And when he was 12 years old, they went up to Jerusalem after the custom of the feast, right? So he was 12 years, he turned 12 years and they went up, right, which coincided with what? The time of the Passover. Which means he was 12 around the time of the Passover, definitely not December the 25th. That's a lie. Also, very quickly, let's get the book of Jeremiah. So we just proven this. I'm not going to make this video long. I don't have much power here. Jeremiah chapter 10. Phone is about to die. Jeremiah 10:1. It says, Hear the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith Yahweh, Learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. For the heathen are dismayed at them. They worship the stars, the sun, just like we saw in the video at the start. Worshiping the sun, Sol Invictus, bullshit like that. Alright, that's for the heathen. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workman with the axe. Right, that's the same Christmas tree. They deck it with silver and with gold. Woo! They fasten it with nails and with hammers that it move not. Right, so they hit the nail right on the head. Pagan shit. They are upright as the palm tree, right? Because they're like the evergreen tree. That's what most of these Christmas trees are, right? But speak not, they must needs be born, because they cannot go, which means you have to carry it because it's dead, right? Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also is it in them to do good. So they can't be worshiping that tree. Even though you know you're no longer cutting them out of the forest, you're going in the store and purchasing them, you're setting them up, putting up a stand, a tripod leg, and setting up the tree and putting the gifts on it, and then bowing down to the tree and taking the gifts as if the tree gave you the gifts. It's bullshit. It's pagan worship. Right? It's pagan worship. So now let me get a few precepts and close this out. The book of let's get the book of Mark chapter 7 and verse 7. It reads, Howbeit in vain do they worship me, saying they're worshiping Jesus, which is really Yahweh Shai. They lie. Right? Howbeit in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. Right? Bullshit. Now let's get the book of Colossians next. Yeah, let's get Colossians 2 and verse 8. It reads, Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit. And that philosophy, that's that wine, is spoken about in Habakkuk the 2nd chapter. Esau's wine, his wicked lies and philosophy, which is really pagan worship, right? And vain deceit after the traditions of men, after the rudiments of the world and not after Hamashiach Yahushai. Right? So it's nonsense. In the NLT it says, don't let anyone capture you with empty philosophies and high-sounding nonsense that come from human thinking and from spiritual powers of this world rather than Hamashiach. Right? Perfect on the spot. Now let's get the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 1. It says, children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and your mother, which is the first commandments with promise, that it may be well for you. Now this is going into obeying your father and your mother, but the scripture spoke about that your parents was to teach you the laws and the statutes. Right? So we ought to obey the laws and the statutes of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai and not what? The traditions of men. Right? This is what we're supposed to obey. Alright? Right? So I'm not going to go any further. You know, Lord willing, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai B'Hashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of the great millstone. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect, beginning with the 144,000 Salakia. Till the next time, Abad Babal and Shalom.